Hey y'all, it's Mocha Mima. Let me do my intro and then we're gonna get into this shiggity right here.
Work, work, work. To me, I get work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. In the cafe, try me, I deserve. Nothing to be lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you not like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody touched me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma see for decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work, 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 work. To me, I be work, work, work.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Mocha Mima. Back for more of this show. I love this show, but y'all, they was tiring me out this week. They was really tiring me out. First, before I get into it, let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. They had a season high viewership this week. I'm so happy for them. Y'all, it's about time. People are starting to get into it. The word is getting out. Look at that. 4.87 million viewers. Not, I should say 0.487, which equates 487,000 viewers. So shout out to them. You know, they bring it every single week. They bring it. So I am so happy that more people are watching it. Maybe all of us talking about it and everything. Oh, let me make this. Let's see here. Let me make myself small. So, y'all, now this episode, these two right here, controlling versus problematic. I had to try to think about which one is worse. Shanice is worse. I like Silas. Silas can be redeemed. Silas can really be redeemed. Shanice, girl, you need to have a seat. You need, like, there's a point in your life where you get too old for the shiggity and shenanigans, and Shanice, you need to stop. Like, all the stuff, it's not working. It's not working. I can't with them. So y'all, let's get into the episode. So the episode, we start back. We're still in the restaurant, and I'm just gonna leave them up there. We're in the restaurant, and Jasmine is upset that she may have isolated her friends and whatnot. So, you know, she starts to cry. You know, she's teary about it, and her friends are telling her, like, you know, like it's you know, things. Yes, it's an adjustment and everything. Before I start that, Silas was in Kempire's live yesterday. He answered some pressing questions that were coming from the fans, and also questions that were he wanted to straighten some things out because, you know, the show is edited. They only show certain things. So if you're in the chat, remember to like and subscribe. Let me know if you can hear me okay. So, you know, he popped in and he said some stuff which made me understand him a little bit more. But still, Silas, this is 2023, not 1923, please. And I know you grew up, you know, in Africa in a refugee camp and everything, but you've been over here long enough. So at this point, like, you come on, you gotta change. But let me get back into this. So Jason is you know, he's talking about their friendship and everything. He's telling the story, and I guess he was going on and on because in everyone's confessionals they were joking about it. Then Bria just told him to spit it out, which I was like, oh God. And one time she said something which was fine. They finish up the dinner. They talk about Shanice coming tomorrow. Then they bring up at the table about people having relations, Bria and Simon, Shanice and not Shanice. That's a whole nother thing. Silas and Jasmine, the whole thing. And Preston talks about giving himself some self love. I'm like, all right now, Preston. I love Preston. I really do. So Simon is kind of drunk, so he asks Alex to drive, and Alex doesn't drink, so he doesn't drink often or whatever the case is. So while they split up, when they were driving, like when they get back home, Bria picks up the dog, and I'm like, oops, sorry y'all. I'm like, there's something good, like you. I just talk about it now. Later in the episode, we find out that Milo poops downstairs at the underneath the pool table. But there's something he is doing something more in that house. They may not show it all because they may not think it's important, but there's something else going on with him in that house with that dog. That dog is because when she came in, she was like, "Oh, Milo." Listen, I had pets. I know when a pet has done something and she's trying to cover it up. So we'll see how that goes because I think when Silas was talking, he said there's like 2 more episodes left. So we'll see how that works. I'm really hoping they get a reunion because last week Mariah had made some comments on social media, and one of the comments was that she did not know that Amir was the one that started everything. So Amir, I need you to be held accountable by Mariah. And Mariah, listen, we already been cussing him out for you, but we need for him to face you and talk about what he did and really apologize. But anyway, getting back to this. So they're back home. They're I see Jordan is kind of on the couch with Amir, and Jordan sends him mixed signals. Like the way things are, like as women, like it's hard for me to explain it, but men and women are different. But it's the signals that she sends him makes him think she's interested, but really she's not interested, and we'll talk about that some more later. So you have Silas and Jasmine, and I'm hoping they don't get. I was like, oh, please don't let them get it on again and whatnot. Bria, who finally gets Simon in her bed after all this time, he said his stomach is full, so they can't do anything. So she's, probably upset. Poor Bria. No, sorry, not sorry. So the next morning is day 10 of 15. Everyone's getting up to do their thing. Silas says to Jasmine that he wants breakfast while she's still laying in the bed, look like she's half asleep. He wants breakfast because Silas is stuck back in 1923 and he feels his wife should make him breakfast. So, they're doing that type of thing. Hey, let me put some comments up. Hi, Aubrey, how are you? Hey, Charlene, how you doing? Put these up. So they're back in the bed. She's in the bed laying down. So he said he's starving. She gets up to go make breakfast. She ends up burning his breakfast because she's talking to Jason because Jason is telling her that it was good that she was transparent last night, and he reiterates that to Silas when Silas walks in. I'm still, you know what? I'm stuck on that daggone dog. I'm still stuck on that crazy dog. So, then, they do, in this episode and like always, they do a lot of talking and whatnot about it. Like Jasmine has to accept that she can have her friends and be in her marriage. Like she has to kind of treat her marriage like because when they got married, it happened during the pandemic, so things were different. You can still be married and have your friends. You have to learn with that delicate balance, and she hasn't learned that yet. But crying about it and get like, girl, settle down. Which I know is probably now she's settled down to everything and got used to it. So everybody's hanging around the house talking. Shanice returns. problematic Shanice. She knew Jason already because they had already been out to Martha's Vineyard before. Alex says hi to her. She talks about Alex, that Bria told her that Alex said to her about the whole thing with the ex-boyfriend. Girl, you was a nut. You stalked that man. You did all that stuff. So like, girl, come on now. I'm like totally, y'all. I'm. Shanice has totally tired me out. I'm telling you, she has totally tired me out. But she says in her confessional about the whole thing with Alex, she's talking about, girl, you know what? I don't want to spend a lot of time on her because, like I said, she gets up. And of course, she's looking at the car. Whose red car is this? The thought that she is wants to know. Wait, oh, I moved my notes, y'all. Excuse me for 1 minute. There we go. My notes. I have my notes posted up here so I can read them. Let me go back to the screen here. So Shanice, of course, whose car is that, y'all? Like she don't even care if the man had two heads or looked a hot mess. Yep, there is a yep. You're right, Charlene. There is a balance and a life change, but it's like I'm like saying to myself, Jasmine, you didn't know this man thought that he was getting married in they got married in what 2021. Like you didn't think you were marrying that man that it was 2021. Like he thought it was 1921. But that goes back to him seeing how his with his parents and everything else. But anyway, let me move on. So Shanice wants to know whose red car it is out there, and Bria says to her, kind of tongue in cheek, "Oh, you want to know whose car it is because you want to know who you're gonna SD tonight." I'm like, they are just so freaking inappropriate. They are just so inappropriate. So then Shanice talks about the whole thing with the ex and all that kind of stuff. Which girl, you're nutso. You stalked the man, which I don't understand why. So they go to a confessional with Simon and Bria, and they're talking about how Bria and Shanice used to do OnlyFans. Bria said, "Oh, but I only did lingerie and stuff," which makes me to believe because I've seen Shanice's old Instagram page. Like Shanice probably knowing her and the freak geek she is, she probably was showing everything, doing the X-rated stuff and whatnot, allegedly, in my opinion, all that. So Summer happens to go down in the basement. When she goes down in the basement, hey Marlene, how are you? When she goes down in the basement, she sees the poop that Milo deposited right under the nice pool table. So she goes and she lets Silas know. Silas wants to have a house meeting. Why? Like, why? We don't need to have a house meeting for that, Silas. Just go and you just tell the girl that the dog went to the bathroom. Silas, of course, passes Bria's room to go right to Preston and tell Preston. Preston was like, bruh, why are you telling me? Why are you not telling her? Silas doesn't want to say anything to Bria because you remember the last episode or episode before, they have this thing where they're going back and forth. So then Alex is coming up the stairs. He lets Bria know. Bria picks it up, and that's the whole thing. But in the meantime, Preston and Silas are going back and forth. They're line brothers. They call each other out on whatever. And Preston is just telling, we're glad to have Preston in this house because Preston is that person. He's that balance that we need to balance all this craziness. So Silas is still, he doesn't want to go into it. It's just a whole bunch of. Let me put it that way. So the guys are going out. The girls are having having a spa day. So they're down in the living room with some crudité and different things. The charcuterie and all that stuff. So Jordan is saying Amir is just not her type. She's just not into him like that. Let me see here. Put the comments up. Thank you guys so much for coming. Make sure you hit on that like and subscribe if you haven't done so. I really appreciate you being here. So she's talking about ja- uh, I keep getting the names mixed up. Jordan is talking about how she's really not into Amir, but then I'm like, but girl, you keep hugging up with him. At one point, he's laying in your bed. Like it's like stop giving him those false hope that he's gonna get with you. So so then Shanice is telling Summer about her ex and that whole thing. I'm like, girl, please. So then everyone starts getting ready. They're gonna do girls' night, boys' night. But Silas once again is saying to Jasmine about what she's wearing, about the shoes, about the dress. I'm like, what is this? Like Silas, you absolutely cannot be like this old fashioned. Like, what are you doing? And he did address this when he was on Empire's Live because he saw how he looked, and it didn't look good at all. And he says, like, I brought all your dresses. What? Anyway, the girls in the confessional, they talk about how they want to get Jasmine drunk and this and that and the other. And see, this is the thing with them. I understand they want their friend to let loose, but their friend is married. Also, like to me, some of that stuff to me gets a little let me see, I don't know if I put these comments up. I'm trying to show everything. It gets a little old and it gets a little tired with the getting drunk and all that. And I know these women are early 30s to mid 30s or whatever, but still, like, come on. I mean, it may be because at that age I had already been married, divorced, and had kids and everything. But even after, when my kids would go off with their dad and all that stuff, and I was in my still, I didn't go out and get drunk and do all that stuff like that. It was just they do a lot. So anyway, they go out. The guys go to one place, they go to another. The girls are turned up, turned out, twerking, drinking the whole 9 yards. The guys are talking seriously, and Silas is kind of like trying to give advice. Silas, we need for you not to give advice, but we do need for you to take advice from what the guys are telling you. We need for you to take the advice that they're giving you. Then come to find out, Silas does not have on his wedding ring. And then also some ladies send some drinks over to the table. Silas goes to drink the drinks. And they're like, no, because you said to Jasmine, if you remember from the other episode, that if somebody sends drinks, that they want to know basically what's up. So they stop him from there. So they rank on him all the way home. Yes. Wait a minute. Let me go here first. And then, yes, Marlene. And it may be because I'm almost 60 and all these people, I'm old enough to be their mother because if my daughter was still alive, my oldest daughter would be that age. Then I have my two younger daughters that are in their 30s. But yeah, the whole frat boy, frat girl thing is like I'm so over it. And it see, I never watched the original Summer House, so I don't know how that goes. You know how that show is, but this getting drunk and all that stuff, and especially that this is a film TV show, and I'm like, I would want them to do better, especially it's just on brow. It's a whole. I'm not even gonna go into the whole, but it's just they're just everybody's doing too much. Then the girls are outside the club. They're on the way home. They're twerking. They're on the ground. It's some of everything. They get home. It's much of the same thing. When the girls get home before the guys, and they're twerking. Bria and Shanice are all on the table with their bikinis on. They're twerking. They're doing all kind of hunching and everything else, taking their stuff off. The guys are on their way home, and they are, when I tell you, they are razzing and roasting Silas in that car about him not having the wedding ring and the whole thing about the drinks. But he needs that. He needs to hear that. So they get home. When the guys get home, the girls are in the hot tub. The guys go change. They go get in the hot tub. So you got Simon, you got Jason. I'm not remembering who else was in there, but Shanice jumps in, says, "You mind if I take my clothes off?" Like, girl, what? Shanice takes her clothes off. Simon and Simon and Jason are both like they don't know what to do. Um, I'm like this trash over here doing that. It was a lot. It was a lot to do that in front of not only is someone's husband around, someone's boyfriend now is around. It's like you're not having a party at your house where you can do this. You're around a whole bunch of people. It's too much. So of course Bria comes out. She says something to Simon. They go back in. Bria's all over the place. Then Summer is getting activated. She's yelling at Shanice, and Shanice is like, "What did I do? I don't know." Girl, you need to sit down and stop. It's too much. Um, and it spills over. Bria is very upset. Her and Simon are not even talking. And of course, Simon does the man thing. He goes over there to see if he could get some that night. Bruh, you knew you were not getting none. You knew you was not getting nothing. Because Bria had to go off on you. Yes, totally no. Shanice has no class at all whatsoever. So Simon is trying to, get some. He's not getting it. They get up the next morning. Bria is still on one because you all know how she is. She's like a dog with. Listen, she's worse than Milo with the bone. So she's talking to everybody about what happened to Shanice. Then Shanice and Jasmine and Alex and Amir go out. They go out and play tennis and whatnot. They talk about the issue just a little bit. Um, it's just everything is just a lot. It's just really a lot with them. So and then you have Jason, Silas, Jasmine, and I think Nick. They all go out to buy wine because they're gonna have a rosé party and whatnot. And it's just they're talk. It's just a lot of talking and all that stuff. I'm like whatever. Then, but what happens is they get back home. When they get home, Silas, of course, with his controlling self, he wants to tell Jason how to move a table. Silas, then he explains it. Oh, well, I give people orders because it's platoon stuff. Silas, I need for you to stop. I really want you to stop it. I'm trying to hang in there with you, Silas. I'm trying to be on your side, but it's like you're too much. You are just too much. So then they're all getting ready for this party, and you have Preston, Jordan, and Alex are outside. Alex says to Jordan, "You're looking thick." Who says that? You don't tell somebody you're looking thick. Like to me, that makes no sense. Whatever. And Jordan is like, I don't know if I'm being objectified. How did she? I'm trying to think exactly how she put it. But it ends up Preston ends up saying to her, "You're being objectified or complimented." That's what it was. So it's like, and that leads to, as we see in the previews for next week, Jordan has a meltdown on everything, all the sexualized stuff about her and everything else. So Alex has a side conversation with Jordan, tells her how they all had to basically pick somebody when they came out. Like, why did he tell her that? I'm like, I'm not getting why he had to disclose that to her and whatnot. Yep, she knows what she's doing. Yes, doing. I can't like it's almost like I can't with them. Like I don't know. I just was like, why are you telling her that and everything? So then they all end up going out there. They're having their wine. They're about to eat. The food arrives. Jasmine brings the food in, and this trash Shanice goes on her balcony and says, "Guys, why aren't you waiting for me? Just a pair of pants on, no top on." So her chest area is all exposed and everything. And Jasmine's like, we gotta talk about this. And that's how the episode ends with her, with Shanice out there like that. Like I'm so tired of Shanice. I am really tired of her and her shenanigans. Um, at this point, like if they do have the reunion, which I hope they do, I don't want Shanice to come back, even though Shanice is that thing we need for the show. I'm so tired of her. I'm gonna drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. But that was it to the show. Like next week looks good. Next week they're gonna have a pride party. They're gonna have I guess they're gonna confront Shanice about everything. Jordan is gonna confront the men about what was going on. So it looks like it's they like Silas was saying they only have two episodes left. I hope they get a reunion. There's enough time for Andy. Get them all together. And most of them, I think, may be from the DMV or wherever, but and they can all come together. Let's have a reunion because I want to know what's going on. I don't want to wait a long time. I don't want them to do like what they did to Family Karma. Family Karma got no reunion, and the show is canceled. So I don't want them to do that. I really want a reunion. Mariah needs justice. She needs to be able to stand up to her accusers and tell them and tell Amir, put him in his place about what he did. So if no one's gonna come up, I'm gonna end it here. Something just got on me. I don't know what that was. But you all, the episode was a good episode. Like I said, they ended up getting a lot of they got a lot more viewers. Let's keep this up because the series has got a couple more episodes. It's gonna be crazy. So we'll see how this goes. But this show, it's a good show. It's really a good show. You guys, I appreciate everybody being here. Remember to like and subscribe. This week I have coming out, let's see here. I have Thirsty Thursdays. That is on Thursday evening at like 5:30. I also have coming up Married at First Sight review. I have that. Oh, you getting ready for work? Oh, Marlene, I didn't know you had to go to work this late in the evening. So I have that come up, Married at First Sight review coming up. And that's Married at First Sight. If that's going to be that episode is the cast tell all. So, and then if you watch Married at First Sight from the Boston season, they had Crazy Lindsay. So Crazy Lindsay's going to come back and she's going to go up against Steve. So that is going to be a hot mess. That is really going to be a hot mess. So thanks to everybody for coming by. Please like and subscribe. Check out one of my other videos. I did a whole thing on Peter Thomas. I also did a video on Zion Williamson. He's a young basketball player who has a girlfriend. Him and his girlfriend announced last week they were having a baby. They did their gender reveal, and his one of his side chicks went totally nuclear. Thank you, Marlene. She went nuclear. So, and the girl is still posting on Twitter. She was up yesterday. I didn't look today because I was sick of her. Like, the man doesn't let you go, so please, you let it go. So, with that, you guys, let me bring that down and whatnot. And let me bring...
Say it with me, kids. If protecting my peace makes me the villain, then bitch, my name is Thanos.
And again, thank you guys so much for being here. Remember to like, subscribe, click on the bell button so that way you know every time I go live. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks.
Work, work, work. To me, I get work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the cafe, try me, I deserve it. Let the devil lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you not like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the right. Nobody touched me in a crisis. places. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I'ma see for decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work. To me, I be work. You see me do me